Since I was just talking about One Piece, allow me, please, to get something off my chest. The Gorosei, yeah, they suck and I hate them. I've watched my fair share of anime, I've read my fair share of manga, and I can tell you right now, it's been a long time since I've seen such an incompetent group of villains like these geriatric idiots. Like, oh my god, these guys just suck. They just suck. One Piece honestly has some really solid villains, like Crocodile's the GOAT, Doflamingo's probably committed nearly every crime humanly possible. And, Blackbeard orchestrated a global incident that literally reshaped the landscape of the entire story, and the impact's still being felt to this day. And then there's the Gorosei who just keep making the worst decisions ever. With their track record, I'm legit wondering how they stayed in power for so long. Case in point, Fumbling the Nika fruit. It was raps, man. It was checkmate. It was GG's. Somehow y'all actually were able to scoop up the one item that would bring down your 800-year-old empire. All you had to do was just make sure it was safely transported to the Holy Land, and boom, y'all win. Story's over. Now, for an item that important, you probably have really tight security, you know what I mean? Like me personally, if I was in charge, I'm sending 2 admirals minimum, because that just makes the most sense. You can't just afford to lose the one item that will literally cripple your entire empire if given to the wrong person. And guess who these bums send? Take a wild guess, please. These idiots send who's who. Who's who? Great value Rob Lucci, the guy who got folded by Jinbei. It doesn't even matter that the person who stole the fruit was Shanks. What matters is these idiots sent fodder to guard the most important item in the entire world. How dumb can y'all really be? And it only gets worse because then there's Luffy's latest bounty poster. If y'all didn't want Luffy's Gear 5 photo to spread across the entire world, y'all should have taken measures against it. But instead, you get your ankles broken by a literal birdman. You're literally the shadow government of the entire planet. But y'all can't even use your power properly. Absolutely pathetic. And the Reverie, Jesus Christ. Don't get me started on the Reverie. Y'all had him. Y'all had Sabo dead to rights. Imu put a hole in this man's body. He needed to call life alert because it was that bad. But all 5 of you transform and your boss did most of the work and you still couldn't finish the job. You're telling me Cobra, this old and sick, wheelchair-bound man, this non-fighter, is able to hold y'all off. You're trying to tell me Cobra is like that. Y'all are so sorry. Literally no excuse as to how this even happened. Sabo should be 6 feet under, but apparently people from Alabasta are just built different. And the stocks, they just keep crashing once we get to Egghead, primarily because of this bum Saturn, the most inept elder of them all. Gotta be the most annoying trash can with a mouth I've seen in a minute. Saturn is that one old person who thinks he's right about everything just to get proven wrong about everything he says. He goes around talking trash and calling people insects, killing his subordinates, and literally having such a giant ego that it causes him to fail to do the most crucial thing in his job description: kill Nika, aka kill Luffy. The fight with Kizaru literally gassed Luffy out to the point where he couldn't move anymore. Sanji, Frankie, and everyone else who could have helped Luffy became immobilized due to Saturn's unexplained eye ability. It was checkmate, it was GG's just like before. This would be the easiest kill probably in the history of the entire world government. Saturn would have been glazed by Emu forever if he pulled this off, but no. Instead, he decides to fumble the easiest W of all time. He just keeps yapping. He decides to gloat about how everyone sucks and how they're all beneath him, they're all dumb, they're all stupid, just keeps yapping everyone's ears off. And all this yapping literally ends up giving Luffy enough time to start eating this completely random airdrop of food in order to bounce back to full power, and then he ends up ragdolling Saturn. Bro, you had him. There was nothing Luffy could have done. There would have been no issue, but no, you just had to keep talking everyone's ears off, talking smack the entire time. You fumbled. And let's not forget that Saturn yapped so much, Kuma, literally a half-dead shell of himself, running on 2 HP and got his face and foot blown off by a Kainu, was literally traveling across the entire world just to pull up on Saturn and rock him. Literally could have taken out Bonnie and everyone else before Kuma even arrived if you just stopped yapping and do your job. But when it comes to Saturn, he's just a certified bag fumbler. He's so trash, he knows his regeneration is the only thing keeping him in the fight, so then he decides to call for backup, and the Gorosei pull up and begin to start jumping Luffy and destroying the island. Again, never would have happened if you just did your job, but we've established how bad Saturn is, how he's essentially dog water, and you think that the other 4 elders would make up for how garbage he is, but nope, these idiots end up choking too. Mars' dumbass is literally flying around knocking out random snails. Observation hockey, nowhere to be found. Usopp on Dressrosa did better than you. Ethan, worst villain name of all time. We'll never respect him for that alone. Fanbase calling you Gandhi was light years better. Here he goes running around knocking out some pacifista only to get blitzed by Sanji and blown back by Zoro. Couldn't catch a single body of the Straw Hats when they were right in front of you. Jupiter, who easily has the worst transformation. Bro is literally a worm. He gets a building chucked into his mouth and proceeds to do nothing else. Nothing. Honestly, if Saturn didn't exist, he'd be the worst of the bunch. On Saturn, he gets dunked on again, with Luffy slapping his attack back at him and literally getting held back by every member of the Straw Hats who don't have hockey whatsoever. None of these guys are top tier fighters, and he gets held back by them. And then he de-transforms from his monster form to just start beating this giant machine with the mother flame inside with his little cane. Why would you do something so stupid? Just destroy it as a monster. He's so dumb, man. The only one who put in work was Workery. Yeah, and he does his best by default since no one couldn't really hurt him, but I doubt that gimmick will last forever. Overall, these guys they suck. How do you get all this clout just to choke up during the playoffs? It's beyond me. Y'all are so sorry. I literally cheered when Emu took out Saturn. But let's not get twisted. If you respect Garling, if you believe in the Garling agenda, I spit on you. Even if he's better than Saturn, he is still garbage that breathes. I pray on his downfall just like the other bozos. The Gorosei are trash, and I can't wait for them to all die. May Luffy bully them the way he turned Kaido into a jump rope.